Howdy, y'all. Just gonna get some music set up for us. Howdy, y'all. Just gonna get some music set up for us. Gotta turn my camera on. Howdy, y'all. Just gonna get some music set up for us. Gotta turn my camera on. All right. Well, welcome to the Playmakers Corner podcast Twitch channel stream thing. Um, Today we are going to be talking about two players who I learned a lot about following the 7v7 club of the Ducks. We've talked about guys that we've heard of from Team Full Gorilla before. We've mentioned, some of these 7v7 scrimmages that we've been to. We posted on our story, we've seen the Ducks go against Warrior and, 719 Springs Elite and obviously Team Full Gorilla as well. And then I also want to say Ambush and Performance Empire, I want to say. So, that's kind of one way that we pass some time for this Colorado football season. And I think that this is a good time to kind of spotlight some of these younger players who are going to get more opportunities looking ahead to this next season. And, who've also had some opportunities to showcase themselves in a variety of ways, whether it was through this 7-on-7 or through some other showcases. And we're going to just give everyone a second to get in here. I'm going to put some things in the chat, and then we will jump into it. All right, so for those who don't know, the two players that we're going to be talking about today are James Basinger and Rowan Risner. Okay, so these are the two guys that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to go through their social medias, show some of their Ducks highlights, as well as go through the huddles that they sent in through our link tree and break down their film that way. So, it's going to be interesting because we will have to kind of piece together James's film. And, another interesting thing is that this film is not going to be, a ton of varsity film necessarily. It's going to be, a little bit of pick and choose stuff. And, we're going to look into that. And so it'll be a nice perspective to watch, maybe some JV film or, stuff like that, some freshman film, and still try and assess their talent and see if it still gives like a middle school-esque vibe or, what success they could still have. So, for James here, what's really interesting is, having met him through Ducks, I saw him primarily operate as a safety and as a wide receiver. However, for Columbine, the very first position that he has listed is running back. And a lot of, even the cover for, this very episode is of him at running back. So, I'm kind of looking forward to maybe doing 2-ish breakdowns of James simply because, he's a phenomenal running back but maybe even a better safety, I mean, that's still to be seen, I guess, but it'll be interesting to assess, kind of both those positions and go from there. Oh, that's the wrong button for my rubric that I'm getting pulled up. So we're gonna delete those. We're gonna just scoot this one over and try and make this as easy as possible. But yeah, that's James. Also, just want to shout out James here for being really pleasant. Same with Rowan, being really pleasant, very polite, very curious athletes who really are just trying to get better. Um, so hopefully this helps them out, and I'm able to give them some things to kind of focus on, no matter what position we're kind of looking at. So I'm gonna go there, and then where's my quarterback? There's my quarterback tab. I'm gonna scoot that over. Perfect. We're gonna white it out. I try and white out any other players that may be on our lists, just because it's not a comparison. It's it's an individual assessment for sure. So that's something that I kind of want to emphasize, not only on this stream but on any of our streams, and that we try and stay conscious of that. So close. Okay, perfect. Now I have access to the chat as well. So for James at the running back position, what we assess are 10 different things. If you're curious on how we apply these things actively on the middle school level, I just did a stream the other night featuring Jack Offerdahl of Dakota Ridge, soon to be, and Riken Banks, soon to be a Legend Titan. So go ahead and check out that stream if you haven't. It's still on our Twitch. It's also on our YouTube or anywhere you listen to podcasts at Playmakers Corner. So go ahead and give those a listen. And yeah, you can kind of see a little bit more on that running back kind of breakdown. But, for running back, we look at 10 things: vision, footwork, power/explosiveness, agility/change of direction, speed, balance/body control, blocking, tackle breaking, and acceleration. We do all of these on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 through 3 being needs improvement. This could lose them their job. 4 to 6 being average. The skill on a bad day is just below average, but above average at the very best. 7 to 8 being above average to good. This is, that 2-star, potentially 3-star kind of range. But really 8 to 9, that's where you want to be. That's the 3 to 4-star kind of rating. And, you can't do much better than that other than the 9 to 10, which starts to flirt with 4 or 5-star. So, that's how we grade that. And jumping into that, let's go ahead and take a look. Gosh, I wish that there is like a playlist option. But we're going to start here with Cherokee Trail. We're going to work our way through 22 seconds, 33 seconds, 45 seconds, 17 seconds, 16 seconds, until we get into these higher volume ones. We'll spend a little bit more time on those. But for these, I'm just going to try and take away as much as I can as soon as I can. Okay, so here he is. They run the wing T. Let's start it over. All right. Finds the hole. And has some forward momentum to fall forward for the first down. This is what I'm more interested to see, is him as a safety. And Cherokee Trail is a passing school, right? So I'm going to just make sure that I start the... And, since we're assessing safety film as well, I guess I should throw in the things that he will be graded on as a safety. Includes man coverage ability, zone coverage ability, top end speed, agility/hip fluidity, hit power, pass contest consistency, ball skills, height/frame, block shooting ability, and run defendability. Pretty straightforward, honestly. But yeah, Oh, shout out to Kleineru13. PMC stream. You got it. Oh, why did that not? Oh, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to take these categories with me and do the same thing here so that it's all in one place. Running back here. Oh, dog time. Okay, there we go. All right, back to this. Gets out of his stance super fast. And he's already turning towards where the play is going. So shows me a little bit of IQ, being able to read the play this quickly and maybe looking at the receivers to understand what's going on. Quarterback gets greedy here. And they rule it incomplete, but he does make a pretty good break on the ball here. Because he's at a pretty decent disadvantage here. I mean, this quarterback does wait too long to throw this ball. But he does beat the receiver to the ball, which is insane because the receiver had such a head start. So, not too shabby of a start there. My other co-host, Simon, has popped on to say, W stream, we will try our best. All right, so this is against Mullen, and a look of him. This might be one or two plays, but here he is at tailback. Oh my gosh, that quarterback got annihilated. And breaks 2 tackles. Stiff arms a third. This is an incredible run. This is why he has it in his highlight reel. All right, so it looks like it's supposed to be a triple option. The quarterback is getting clobbered before he can actually make a play on this ball. Hold up, I'm going to stop and wait for this helicopter to pass over. Sorry about that. But anyways, back to this. This quarterback makes this decision way too late. So James has to completely lose his speed and his momentum here to stop and catch this ball and then regain the speed. This is an excellent look for acceleration, personally, is what I'm going to invest a lot of stock into this because he just gets going so quickly. Excellent explosiveness, too, breaking through those tackles and then stiff arming that last guy. Let that play one more time while I put some notes down here. All right. Great acceleration, being able to make something out of that play. That was a broken play, and you don't quite get that. Okay. Oh, so I played the Mullen highlight, but I skipped right over Fruit of Monument. So let's double back here for Fruit of Monument. Oh, we got an ad. Well, anyways, if you haven't yet, go ahead and follow James on Twitter at BassingerJames25. And then go ahead and follow him on Instagram, where it's the same but different with a 26. Oh, these old things, Kleineroo, these old headphones. They're pretty nice. They're pretty nice, I guess. They're pretty nice. All right, so here we got Fruit of Monument. Obviously, this is going to be some more running back film for James off this first play here. Some wing T stuff. It's okay. All right. Gets popped pretty good there. All right, now we have him kind of as a line. This is a linebacker spot for sure. But you can look at this 2 different ways, because if you have him playing at safety and then also see him, in this position here at linebacker, you can see that he's a versatile safety, right? This gives us a chance to really grade his run defendability and, assess how good of an all-around safety he can be. So I appreciate this film as well. All right, so his first step is back to push off. So you might want to be in a stance that you don't have to take that false step necessarily. I'm just watching this play over and over again. Okay, a little bit of misdirection. Gets a hand to the face, but still perseveres and makes the tackle. Good strength. All right, here we have him in a toss. Has to catch another tough toss here. So losing all of his speed once again. Great chance to showcase some vision as well as some acceleration here. Nice cutback. What a run. What an incredible run. This is a huge... I mean, there's no better way to showcase acceleration than having to completely stop it. Because, I mean, anytime you get a handoff, you have some momentum from the backfield, right? But for James on these tosses, he almost completely stops to make these catches. I mean, God, look how much he has to slow down and reach back for this thing. And not only does he pick up speed quickly, but, I mean, he utilizes some good vision, and, you know, he makes a couple of cuts through the middle and is able to come out with some points here. Man, I am a lot tougher on this high school film than I am for the middle school film, but that's all right. All right, back to this. We're almost into some of the meatier videos, but for now, it's sorted by most views. That's why I'm all kind of backwards. All right, Highlands Ranch High School, I suppose. All right, this one's 45 seconds. That's good. Check that out. Freshman Male Athlete of the Year awarded to James. That is a pretty big deal coming from a 5A school with, you know, bigger recruiting classes and whatnot. So, all right, so here we're probably going to see him at tailback. Yep, there he is. Bounces this one outside. Stumbles. Falls for quite a few extra yards, but what is his footwork looking like on this? They got a special athlete here in James for sure. It just depends on how they're going to utilize him. He's so fast compared to these other freshman squads. That was a nice cutback too. Yep. Splits the defenders and then he's up out of there. Oh, that's why that looks so familiar. I work over in this area, so. All right, here he is at tailback again. Slow motion to show him running through 3-4 guys. Okay, I can mess with it. You know, he does certainly have tackle breaking capabilities. The level of consistency is what will need to be seen a little bit more. We're going to put that there for now. Okay, so we're starting to round into some kind of rankings here, but let's go ahead and watch this Arvada West film. And I bet we'll see a lot more on the minute-long films than minute-and-a-half-long films. So, all right, 17 seconds. So this is either one big play or two, you know, solid plays. So, oh my gosh. How many people have a chance to make this play and they just don't? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count 5 people who could have made this play. 1, you're off 72. I mean, maybe he doesn't. It looks like he's shedding that tackle. This guy reaches up, can't get enough, trips him up a little bit. Maybe even, I can't tell if there's a person here, but there's 2 people here at least, so 3, 4, 5. I mean, weak efforts, but way to just be really stout and in control. Bodes well for the body control. that does need a little bit of a boost, honestly, following some of these stumbles that I've been seeing. You know, usually I feel like with young players, we have to talk a lot about their explosiveness, but I would say that is probably the smallest question mark that I have for James, outside of his acceleration. Obviously, I want those both to improve, but here we have some film from 77. Because, I mean, there's not going to be a lot of opportunities for him to catch in the Columbine film, but he can catch. Trust me on that one. I've seen him make so many highlight plays for the Ducks, and I know that in pads is different, but I know hands when I see him, and he's a pretty solid route runner too, being asked to run a variety there. So he is rounding out his game in other facets where it may not be as available at his home school. All right, so we got a handoff here. Follows his blocks very well. It's a decent tackle, good tackle done. Is that one guy over? He just makes it look so easy on this level of competition. If their backfield wasn't already so loaded, he could potentially see snaps already. All right, so we get to see a catch here and then watch him take it upfield. It's just what I expect at this point. Way to cut that back inside and shed 1, 2, 3 tackles before 2 people have to bring him down. He's so strong. It's insane. Oh, that's the page down button. We don't want that. Sorry, just adjusting some grades here. Okay. All right, so that was the Ralston Valley film. I think I've almost rounded into form here. So let's see, 22. So about a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes plus another 3 minutes here, 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes. Yeah. Moral of the story: do us a favor here and just put all this together sometime, James. And just call it freshman season highlights. Watch, it's in here. Nope. Okay, cool. Glad that we're not missing out on anything. Also, in addition to James being pretty baller at running back and on the Ducks, 3.8 GPA. Student athlete. And no one quite summarizes here like James, obviously with 3.8 GPA here. And then basketball, track, Ducks, running back, defensive back for Columbine. We've got all the times. This is a very well done Twitter, by the way. Go ahead and try and make your Twitter like James if you're trying to be recruited. So, anyways, back to these highlights. Here he is at tailback. Gets a little catch there. It's like more catches than most Columbine running backs had a chance to catch this past year. All right. I'm gonna watch this play a little bit more closely here. Can't tell if this is immediately after. mean, he makes the right read using his burst to squeeze through here. Obviously, strength to shed that little arm tackle. I don't know why this guy is facing this way, but then he uses him as a block. I might have been looking more for this cutback lane here. This looks like a pretty solid cutback lane, and while this guy is needlessly double teaming this guy, he can also turn around. I think this should go for a touchdown, as opposed to a really tough earned maybe first down. So that's where, that's a place where vision, might take a little bit of a hit. Is because, look at this cutback lane. I feel like it's fairly reasonably... Yeah, he needs to hit this cutback lane. You got to stick your foot in the dirt and get upfield. That's there. And it doesn't help that your own guy's running backwards at you, but you gotta bounce off that. Look at this. This is free. This cutback lane is available for so long before someone eventually gets all the way across the field and fills it. So, yeah, that's something that I would definitely focus on as James. Okay, on to the next one. All right, here he is at tailback again. Okay, bounced off of one. On to the next. Let's take a look at this one again, too. Gosh, this line is getting crunched here. Put it stay on your feet. Cut back. Gain a few yards. Not too much more you could ask for there. You start to see against some different competition here in Valor that the speed of these other teams catches up to James just a little bit here. Obviously, he's fast, but he's going against a school that, has options, is what I will say, in regards to speed and talent. And you start to see this gap close just a little bit more here. So definitely, I'll always get faster. Always get faster. No matter what, always get faster. I think that's something that he probably knows, but something that needs to be said nonetheless. Okay, and that brings us to Pomona High School. It's the last one on his film. And then I do plan on looking through his Twitter as well as his Instagram. He has some crazy lift stuff going on. 405 pounds. 15 weeks ago as a freshman. Oh, look at that. That's how I know it's genuine. That wiggle. My squat don't wiggle. It folds. Alright, anyways. Got a toss here. Has to reach back. Gosh, quarterback. This is about James, but can you get the toss in the right place, please? Please. Anyways. Got motion here. Probably a crack block. Aiming outside. Nice. Stiff arm. Missed arm tackle. Touchdown. Love to see that. I like these interior tosses. Oh my goodness! Where does this contact start? The beginning of this tackle is like here at the 37-yard line. He just drugged defenders for 13 yards, multiple of them. That's grown man attitude right there. Damn. don't know if I'm allowed to say that on Twitch, but I am overwhelmed. And I'm trying not to just blow this out of proportion on tackle breaking. But man, is he just so powerful. Oh my lord. All right. Back to reality. Very next play, just hand it off to him again. I did that with some of my freshman running backs. You know, it's not broken, don't fix it. Oh, do we have a punt return here? Okay. A little bit of a different thing to look at. Different kind of vision. But an easy one. Touchdown. That's sweet. Alright, so triple option thing again. Just beats them. Just beats them with incredible acceleration. Sees the cutback lane here. Very strong. Cuts all the way back across the field. He doesn't get caught, right? Nice. How long of a run is that? Oh, come on. In case you didn't get it from these commercials, don't vape or whatever. Gosh, these ads suck. But anyways, James, hey, we can watch another video actually of him lifting. Deadlifting 405 for 6 freaking reps. Oh my gosh. This kid's a unit. He's going to be an all-state player. That's all I have to say about that. Simon, chill out. I thought I was saying demonized for a second. I don't know how to read. Oh my goodness, this is the run that I want. Okay, so after ripping off multiple long runs this game, displaying that speed. This is from within the 10-yard line. It looks like the 6 or 7. Nice cutback here in the backfield. And just has the juice. That's just how it goes sometimes. And just input some things here. And then let's go ahead and look through, some of his Twitter stuff, because he also has highlights in here. Oh, he did 455 on deadlift. Oh my gosh, they're using a rubber band to keep that much weight on. What a monster. Alright, here he is running now. This looks like it's Jeffco. Alright, this is for JV. Dang, he wins that by a fairly considerable margin. Let's see. He doesn't even start off leading it, but he just outruns and outlasts here. Yep. All right. So now we have some 77 highlights. Looks like him receiving. Getting upfield. Do we have another one in here, please? Yep. Oh, that's Anders. That's a pick 6. Yep. Gosh, he impressed me so much as a safety. I wish that we had more. It's a pretty good hit for 7-on-7. Okay, now we're looping here. We watched this one a little bit earlier. He impressed in a couple of different showcases recently. Nice. That looks so easy. He makes it look so easy.
Let's go.
Okay. Alright, so we got tryouts. This looks like a throw from Carson, maybe? Did we record this? We might have recorded this. What a catch. That's what I'm talking about. And that's something that he makes look so regular when in Ducks, is those spectacular catches, those good catches, running a variety of routes, out routes, corner routes, go routes, in routes, post routes. He's ran it all, and he's ran them all with a lot of success. He's caught in double coverage. He's caught in triple coverage. There's just, the only question mark is how does it look in pads / will he get the opportunity in pads? But he can receive. And then based off of his lifting numbers, and I mean, he's 183 pounds, 5'9". He's only 5'9". I say, being 5'9". But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just give it one of these. Wait, what am I pushing over here? I don't want to do that. I'm gonna put it right there, actually. I think that's fair. Now I'm just gonna play through one more. I'm just gonna let this replay, honestly, after it resets. Let's see. That's a video of him running. Good times with the Ducks. Skip ad. So I'm gonna just let this play while I iron out some of these gradings here. All right. So I think I have some things ironed out here, so I'm just going to reset this and then talk through, I wanted to grade him as a safety, but there's not enough film here to really dive into that. So I'm just going to talk about James, the running back, and some things that he does well, and then maybe some things to work on, as we near football season. But things that I'm not concerned about, his acceleration and his power / explosiveness. It's very hard to earn high grades as a freshman. However, his acceleration, based off of multiple instances in his film where he goes from a complete dead stop upfield and spurns the entire defense, I had to give his acceleration at least an A. He has incredible acceleration. He gets up to speed very quickly. And, part of that does come from his explosiveness. But, in addition to his explosiveness displaying on the film from a dead stop, his power and ability to just level players is something spectacular and something that will get him, looks from the next level, as well as, on that Columbine squad. So, his power / explosiveness, I have rated at a 7.8. He's very powerful. He can run through a lot of arm tackles, and, he can generate acceleration from a near stop. So obviously both of those are going to score very high. The last category that I have still in the sevens is tackle breaking at a 7.3. The only thing preventing this from any of these categories from being higher is the fact that it is, freshman film or JV film. So the game speed is very different once you get to the varsity level, and that is the only reason that I'm not diving completely into that and selling out for that necessarily. So that's the only reason that they're not higher, is because I just need to see them on that varsity level. He still scored really, really well in other categories. In speed here, that's easier to read now. In speed, he did score a 6.8. I think he's very fast. Obviously, we saw that video of him running, and he's winning that race. He's increasing his speed. He runs a decent 40-yard dash. However, I just want to see that speed, be able to get past some of these Valor, edge rushers, or, be able to get past some of these linebackers at some of these better schools, some of these schools that more consistently have better programs, better athletes, and whatnot. The speed just doesn't pop as much off the page against some of these more predominant programs, the Ralston Valleys, the Valors, as some of the other schools that he goes against. That maybe that's just not the same. He's still incredibly fast, but just have to see it consistently in pads for starters. And I think that getting to your top speed, acceleration, obviously, getting to your top speed as quickly as possible is very different from top end speed. Obviously, 6.8 is still really, really good. Knocking on that 2-star speed door, and a little bit more consistency or film is something that could really push that to the next level, as well as just proving it on something above freshman or varsity. Now, receiving, I have this graded at a 6.6. This is a pretty high score considering how little there is in pads. This score is highly supplemented, there we go, by, his capabilities that I saw in Duck 7v7, the amount of routes that he ran, the mossing catches that he can make. However, I can't give you full receiving all the time simply because of success in 7v7. So that's why that this isn't higher, is because, I don't see him catch a slant and take a monster hit from a linebacker. That's something that would increase it. I don't see him run a lot of these different things in pads. So these are things that are holding back the receiving because the volume is low in pads. However, normally for a running back that this happens to, I'll put it at a 3.9, I'll put it at a 4, I'll put it somewhere in that range so that it's barely average or below average. But for James here, because of what I've seen with Ducks and the growth that he's made and the way he catches the football and the way that he runs routes, that's what elevates him to a 6.6 here. So it's a really good swing for the system that he's playing in, and the typical grade that a Columbine running back could typically face in this receiving category that has been somewhat unkind in the past, but realistic because volume does mean something. So, all right. Speaking of our last category here in the 6 range is vision. And this vision is a dual-head sword, right? Because, there are plays where, he maneuvers around the field very, very well. And, he finds cutback lanes that are a little bit tough to find. But it's not always consistent. So consistently looking for, that deep cutback lane. That's a really different thing to look for than just a cutback lane, That one against, I want to say, Valor, maybe? It is Valor, because it's this one right here. Look at the timing of that. It's just how long this cutback lane is available. Like, you can start to see it here. And so if he sticks his foot in the dirt, that's going to be trouble. But he keeps running. And, even when he runs into his fullback, he still has an opportunity to cut this back across the field. And so I think that this is the greatest example of where his vision can use work and where he can improve vision-wise. While he does make, tremendous cutbacks across the field from time to time, he does take tosses inside. He typically knows when to go out or in. That's what can score him at a 7 or even an 8. But this specific play is a very glaring need for addressing that vision and making it a little bit better, whether that's studying film a little bit more of your opponent or something along those lines. That is what I recommend as a remedy for this. It's right there. You can drive a truck through that. So just keep your head on a swivel. Moving on, balance/body control. Obviously, you have plays like, oh my goodness, I want an example really bad where he just sheds a bunch of tackles. No, you have plays where, boom, stays on his feet through one, has to be taken down by a second. And typically body control and, tackle breaking can go hand in hand. And I think that's where the upper echelon of this comes from. But he is stumbling a lot, and he kind of stumbles for a really long time when he does get tripped up. And that is a part of balance and body control, being able to recover those stumbles, being able to stay square. And then, some of these other things like agility/change of direction and footwork aren't necessarily the highest, and the balance/body control is somewhat indicative of that. That, his footwork can get a little sloppy, his base can get a little narrow, but then it can get too wide. That's going to affect your balance and body control. His agility/change of direction, he's able to make a couple of quick cuts, but not necessarily huge jukes or jump cuts. We don't see too many of those. Spin moves, hurdles. We're not seeing a bunch of that. And we're not seeing, right and then back left. across the formation and across the field as far as change of direction. And it's not always the quickest. It's not a seamless kind of S. It's, a little jagged at times. So, when those categories are at, a 5.2 for footwork or a 5.5 for agility / change of direction, your balance and body control is going to be around a 5.8. And then last but not least, this is one of the highest scores, if not the highest score I've ever given for this category without having seen film of it. However, based off of the lifting numbers that he's already putting up, and also, somewhat investing into the future and what that could look like, his blocking category did score a 5.4 for me. He's a manimal in the gym. He's a manimal lifting. He's a beast in real life. He's 185 pounds. I like a lot of those things to bode well for a blocking running back. And so when you add all of this up, when you add all this up, you get a 64.7 for James. That is not a bad place to be as a freshman running back at Columbine. Look, you don't get a lot of looks, right, for receiving, yet you're still working on your receiving in the offseason, and I've seen you in person catch a football, and you do it well. Your vision is really, really good most of the time. It can just be a little bit better, and you can see some more cutback lanes. Your power / explosiveness, these things, the only reason these things aren't higher than, these mid 7s or low 8 is because I just need to see it against varsity competition. That's the big thing. And then obviously, blocking unproven, but that's still a very solid score. So keep it up in the gym and the weight room, and then balance / body control, as well as agility / change direction and footwork. I think that these are the big areas of focus: salmon ladders, tires, core exercises, being able to, recover those stumbles more often, being able to keep your feet just more balanced and just be more of a proportionate and, shoulders over knees kind of football player rather than a shoulders over toes or, over the grass kind of football player, right? So just playing at that very, square kind of shape, that very consistent level of pads, that very consistent base, not letting your feet get too close to each other. That's going to make you substantially better. Obviously, you score a 5 in these categories because you show promise in it. You show in your footwork that you can make good cuts. You show in your agility / change of direction that you can make a series of quick cuts back and forth, that you can move back across the field. For balance and body control, you show that you can be balanced. You show that you can be in control. You show that there's a lot of tools that you have in your arsenal. It's just a matter of making those more consistent and then putting it all together in a way more fluid kind of way. So that's what I got for James as far as recommendations to work on in the offseason at the tailback position. I think that he also has an incredible amount of upside at the safety position with the instincts that he shows, the way that he was baiting quarterbacks throughout this entire 7v7 season. That's something that, that athleticism allows him to accomplish, and something that, it just comes really, really naturally to him. And so, for James, first off, keep up the good grades. Keep that up. Keep playing basketball. Keep running track. You're going to get faster. Way to keep working at your receiving in the off season. And, I'm really looking forward to seeing James, James is in a weird spot because it feels like he's too good for JV, but I know that they have a lot of depth at running back. I know that they have Tyree, Trusty, obviously. At tailback, we did a breakdown of him along with Noah Triplett and Mason Lowe. Go ahead and find that episode for a pretty fun Twitch breakdown. That's on our YouTube as well. But, they also have Josh Schneider, I want to say, is somebody who's going to be coming back. And Columbine is just one of those schools that just churns out running backs like it's no big deal with that wing T and that big line of his. But, if he does find reps on the defensive side of the ball, I see that as a possibility. Or, he could be just another one of those backs in the backfield. There's 3 of them back there in a wing T. So, obviously, lots to like here about James. And, we appreciate him filling out that form, filling out that request, and all the support that he does show us. Congratulations on winning Freshman Male Athlete of the Year. We'll give you a retweet for that. And, the success that he has seen in all of his endeavors. Just keep working hard. He's very determined. And he's going to be a great addition to someone's collegiate program someday. I think that his upside is easily up there. So, I mean, he's almost a 2-star recruit already. All right. That brings us to the other fellow here in the Ducks program. That's Rowan Risner, the Fairview quarterback. Once again, GPA of 3.8. You love to see it. You love to see it. Oh my gosh, we're not following him. Be like Playmaker's Corner and go follow Rowan right now. A huge participant in Ducks 7v7. And, speaking of 7v7, just going to take a quick moment here to shout out the 7v7 tournament coming up for high schools. And, you can see potentially teams there. And, Fairview, I feel... I'm not positive if they're one of the teams that are signed up. But I'd be surprised if they aren't. Because, I mean, if you want to show who can throw it around the yard, this is the place to do it. 7v7 brought to you by Evolution Player Optimization and Under Armour. You can go ahead and go to our bio, click the link tree in the bio, click June 7v7 registration, talk to your varsity programs, talk to your coaches, compete in this 7v7 tournament here with all the information. South qualifier at Thunder Ridge, June 25th, North qualifier, June 26th. So, there's a couple of different places you can go. And then the championship game on June 29th. And, if you do win it all, you can secure money for your football program. And it's a lot better than knocking door to door. So make sure to talk to your varsity coach, get all signed up for that, and go put it on for your school. But back to Rowan here. Rowan's another player who we have gotten to see develop quite a bit, honestly, under, this Duck 7v7 program. Get more opportunities to kind of see him this past year, since we didn't necessarily always have those opportunities. So, obviously that was a huge moment for us, and something that I was very, very excited to have been a part of. Sorry, I had to look something else up. For the one thing that we do want to compare is the frame, for sure. So I was like that. So we'll put this at like... Yeah. So, but Rowan here, obviously, somebody who gets to throw the ball a lot, with the Fairview setup. And then, he's been able to attend some football camps, throw some dots, compete, in that 7v7 and get, opportunities to... How do I want to put this? Test himself against, national competition. I think that's really important when evaluating quarterbacks. And, for anyone who doesn't think 7v7 doesn't do anything, I think that you can look at people like Adam Graves, who got opportunity because of 7v7. Braden Dorman's name got spread all over the country because he was lighting it up against, national competition in a variety of ways over the past few years. So there are... 7v7 does have benefits, and don't let anyone tell you that it doesn't help with recruiting, because there are people who haven't even made plays, really, at their, high school programs because of the scheme that they run or what have you, and they do get programs through these 7v7s because the upside of playing very well is there. But Rowan here, not too much that I can say about him. He's very, very nice guy, very pleasant guy, very humble. And you know what? I'm just going to let his film do the talking for him. Whoa! 3,154 yards on, let's see. Let's pull up the calculator right here. The calculator. Right here on the big screen. Hey, drag that over. We're going to find out together, audience. So 205 divided by 341. That sounds pretty good. 60% completion percentage. That is very good, honestly, when you're throwing the rock that much. And 28 touchdowns. So let's check it out. Oh, hold up. Before we get too far into this, we grade quarterbacks on 10 different categories. Arm power, arm accuracy, timing on throws, overall mechanics / fluidity, decision making skills, scramble ability, throw on the run ability, pocket awareness, pocket movement, and frame / size. Same 1 through 10 scale. Double clutched it. Nice throw. Here we go. So different going from the double clutch to this really quick release. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Arm straight back and straight forward. That is one of the best releases there is. Base is a little wide, but I mean, it's not. This is a really good throw to test too, because it reflects timing, it reflects accuracy, and it reflects, just the ability to make this intermediate throw. This is a throw that is missing from a lot of quarterbacks' resumes, is this 10 to 15 to 20 yard in here. And he just puts it right on the money for his receiver. I guess a little behind if I have to be picky. But pulls out left. Okay, so this is a little sloppy, I would say, because he's throwing off of his back foot. That's obviously not that's not a habit that you want to form. And you can see that he threw off his back foot because it's reflected in the fact that this receiver has to turn completely around versus the ball should be over here. But continuing on, a little bit of a play fake, absolute dot over the shoulder. This is a $1 million throw right here. Because the receiver doesn't even create a crazy amount of separation. But he throws him open. That's what he does. He just throws him open. Excellent throw by Rowan here. All right. Nice throw. Once again, just a great throw. This pocket is really clean for him a lot of the time, too. You could lead him a little bit more on this, right? Okay. Feels pressure, steps up, starts running. You like to see it. Get out of bounds. Keep yourself safe. Oh! What happened here? Okay, just like a really low snap. Well, anyways, recovers, rolls out right. Makes a great throw on the run there. Oh my goodness, that was a money throw. Oh, whoa! Rowan, if this linebacker has more football IQ than 2, this is a pick, dude. Any of those linebackers. That's a risky throw, but it's a fantastic throw because it's in the only place where that receiver can make a play. Nice velocity. He just has such a nice release. He throws on the run incredibly well as well. Nice. Just digesting here. Nice. He just has really good placement and timing specifically. I think his timing is very solid. His timing is what makes a lot of this possible, honestly. Like, he has good throw power, sure. He's pretty accurate. But he just puts it right when they need it. Not always right where they need it, but right when they need it. Pulling out right. Now, holding on to the ball and escaping the pocket like this a lot is going to cause holding penalties. That's just a fact. So I think that he does have to manipulate the pocket a little bit better for sure. He does show some instances of doing so, but you can't always just bail. But when the pocket is clean, he's very comfy in it. I'd say that he's aware, it's just that the movement is very pedestrian in comparison to some other things. Stands in and takes the hit there, which is fine. But maybe roll out there. You know, it's just like decision making with the pocket, and that falls into pocket movement for sure. Steps up here. Okay, that's more of what we'd like to see. All right, so we're going to restart that while I start getting some of these grades together. What a dot. Of course, that happens right as I'm going through the accuracy. Nice throw on the run once again. I just have to watch through here for reads. Which, I mean, it is the Fairview offense, so, I mean, he's at least going to get a 5 in decision-making just for having to run this offense. He seems to know where he's going before the play a lot of the time, which is simplifying it a decent amount. But it's like, I wonder what option that was. Was that read number 1? Was it read number 2? So. That's a good decision. You just got to put that ball further out. Killing it with ball placement on these out routes, as well as some of these medium routes. But once you get to those corner routes, that's where you start to see receivers have to slow down pretty considerably. It almost looks like an arm power problem. Nice throw there in the back of the end zone. Okay, I think I'm near some final grades here. Rowan, let me just make sure that I'm not missing anything. Risner here to 8 interceptions. Okay, that is what I was curious on. So that's, let's see, 28 to 8. It's like 7 to 2. Yeah, that's good. So we'll go there. Also, if you haven't, go ahead and follow Rowan Risner on Twitter. He has been attending a handful of camps, getting a handful of invites. I wonder where this comes from. Probably 7-on-7, where he's getting opportunities to really ball out. I don't know the rest of that music, so we're muting that. That's good. Still wish that he'd push it a little bit further outside on some of these corners. That's good arm power on display there. Nice zip on that one to get into the end zone. Good placement on that one. Let's keep going. Here you have some more duck stuff. Great arm power on display on that one. Just the velocity on it, I should say. Push that further, Rowan. Come on, man. Like that. Do it like that every time. All right. Wow. That's sweet. I want to watch that one again. It's definitely a little crowded in here. I mean, he looks right. Sees that that's double covered. And then he comes back inside. It's a good decision. A better decision than throwing out into double coverage, but I mean, that's a mess of red there, but a great throw to make it possible. Nice. Oh, and we're back to the beginning here. Let's watch this first one again. See, this was against a 7-1-9, I want to say. Yep. Oh my goodness, why is it so grainy? That's a great throw. That was also a fantastic throw. Right. Shout out to Prep Red Zone and Coach Wes over there. Easily one of the most underrated QBs in this class. All right. And then this is from July 2021. So we're starting to really go into the past, but I could do that. That's where that's going to sit. Might even go here. And then that might go here. I'm being a little too picky with that. That's perfect. That's appropriate. You could, no, that's where. No. It's worth one more decimal point. And I grade quarterbacks harder than I grade like any other position. So don't take offense to this. I am trying to help you. Okay, so for Risner here. Oh, wait, we want to exit out of this and pull the rubric up. Let's talk about it. So, Risner here scored very well in a handful of things near the top of this. Overall mechanics / fluidity. I love his throwing motion. I love how quick it is. And, you know, I think that he does a really good job of throwing the rock very well. I'm going to give it a slight bump. Reasons to be picky about this. His footwork is inconsistent. That's against the best teams in the country. Thank you, Simon. It's the Mecca. Right. But anyways, I think that his footwork is a little inconsistent, and his drop back doesn't always look the same. The timing isn't always the same, and then his base can be a bit wide at times. So that's one reason why his mechanics slash fluidity sits here at a 7.2. It is mainly because his footwork and lower body needs some more work and fine tuning. His timing on throws, he's fantastic on these on some of these timings. I mean, look, that's a great example right there. I mean, he's rolling this out, and I mean, in front of the safety, past the cornerback, and with room for his receiver to make a play. He's really good at making these throws fairly consistently. He could do this over the middle. He could do this on the outside. There are plenty of ways that he can kill you with timing throws. Sometimes he just underthrows, even on out route. Anytime the receiver has to completely square back up to you and he's heading an out route, that's not a good look on timing, and it's not a good look on arm power. That's one reason why his arm power is here for me. He does have a little bit more velocity than I'm giving him credit for, so I am going to bump it up to a 6.6. However, I think that pushing it down the field wise, he needs a little bit of work on putting it in front of the receiver more consistently, working on that timing, working on those corner routes. That is one of the hardest routes to throw, and I just want to see him throw that more. And I want to see more comeback routes as well in his film. That is going to be a huge impact on timing as well as arm power. Arm accuracy, once again, he's very solid at getting the ball in the right spot. Sometimes it's a little bit behind, but that I feel like that's more indicative of the power and maybe sometimes the timing. I'm actually even willing to trade it off something like this. But his timing can be very spectacular. He has level 9 talent timing on certain throws. It's just that it's not always like that. It's a little inconsistent. So that's where the top half of this sits and why. Mainly all the throwing stuff, right? Now we get into some more technical stuff, I guess. I mean, that's included in this. But decision-making skills, I see a lot of one read. I see a lot of quick out stuff on this film. So it's not like the most complex stuff necessarily. So that's one reason why I have that rated at a 6. However, it is a spread offense. It is something that you have to be good at. And it is something that he threw a 7-2 INT to or TD to INT ratio. And, I think that's even enough to warrant a slight bump here. He's good at making decisions, but I want to see him go through more reads. Which he did do with the Ducks, obviously throughout their season. That is another reason that I'll do that. But also, he was prone sometimes with the Ducks to taking some bad sacks. So we're gonna do that right back. Scramble ability. He can kind of move. We have this play. Where is it in this film? Where he kind of runs, picks up some yards, runs out of bounds. Where is this play? I think it's this one right here. But he's not a crazy athlete. He's not super athletic. He's not super fast. He rolls out from time to time, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily something that's in his bag to be making plays on the run like that. Unless he's throwing, in which case he could throw on the run pretty well. I mean, this is somewhat of that's somewhat of a bad example, actually. Show me one where he throws on the run so I can kind of talk about some things here. Come on, man. Also, I'm going to bump this up to that, and I'll explain why in a second. Okay, so here he has to throw on the run, rolls out right, looks downfield, finds this guy. That's a perfect throw. That's a perfect throw that he makes right here, right? So that's one reason why the throw on the run is so high. But it's not like he's uncorking like 50-yard passes down the right sideline when he's rolling out. It's not like he's doing it a ton of the time. He's usually asked to do something fairly simple. And while he does, square up, which is what I love to see, these throws aren't... It's not like he's squeezing a ton of these throws on the runs into the smallest windows. So, it's something where it's a strength right now, I'd say, but it can improve remarkably and make him a better prospect. Pocket awareness. You just saw me bump it from a 4.9 to a 5.6, and here's why. He has incredible poise in the pocket, I want to say, and it looks like he owns that pocket. He possesses that pocket. Very rarely does he get scared out of it, and when he does, it's usually like a code red. So I did give that a bump for his poise in the pocket and for knowing how long he can stay in the pocket. And when he does get blitzed, he can recognize it, right? As far as pocket movement goes, this is a little harsh. I'm going to bump it up more than that. But it does need work. I don't think that he moves in the pocket particularly well. I don't think that he steps up as much as he should. And I don't think that he knows how to move the pocket. There's pocket movement, moving within the pocket, and then there's moving the pocket and being able to create, a new place. But really, he just does his drop back, and very rarely does he step up in the pocket, and I think that's a huge issue. And then doesn't show a lot of maneuvering within said pocket to escape, certain pressures from certain directions. And then he's 6'1", 185 pounds. That's a good size and frame. It's not overwhelming, but it's a good size and frame to at least get scouts to look. And that lands Rowan Risner here at a 62.3. I'd say the biggest things is, doing a lot of footwork stuff, because the mechanic part that you struggle with is your footwork, depending on your drop back, how big your feet cross over themselves. It can look kind of Bambi-ish sometimes and just a little messy. Obviously, if you're working on your footwork, then that's going to help with your pocket movement. I'm not recommended the Jameis Winston prescription here, but you do need to work on your pocket movement, and working on your pocket awareness is going to help with that. So, just being able to sense that pressure and being able to step around, making a circle of cones with certain lanes, and, number the cones. 1, move up to that. 2, move back to that. And that's going to help with your footwork as well as your pocket movement. Those are the two biggest things that I want him to address on a technical standpoint. And then, obviously, you can never be too athletic at the QB position these days. It gets more and more mobile every day, so just continue to get faster and better and stronger and whatnot for that frame and size. And then, for these, it's just a matter of... For these, anything to do with arms, it's a matter of consistency. I think that the timing's there. I think that your arm needs a little bit more juice. Feel free to let her rip sometimes. And increasing that arm power, I think, will help with some of the accuracy and underthrow woes that we do see from time to time in Rowan's film. But Rowan, obviously, we're looking out for you. Rowan's, like I said, really, really nice kid, really nice guy. Obviously has his priorities straight. Very, very good GPA, very solid football player. Once again, with a properly built Twitter, right? And he's getting lots of looks, and he deserves them. And I'm glad that he's making the most of these opportunities. Oh, hey, this is from Empire. Wait, this isn't all. That's not all Rowan. But anyways, Rowan, he's somebody who, I think is going to do very, very well when the opportunity is given to him at Fairview. And somebody that, I think is going to find a lot of success, especially having found a 77 team to, make these opportunities for him and get him more reps and more practice and whatnot. So, congratulations to Rowan, and thank you both Rowan and James, and thank you to Ducks. Shout out to Coach V Hill, obviously, for inviting us out to all the events, letting us hang out, get to know the players, and for us getting all these opportunities to really talk to Rowan as well as his folks, and really getting to know James and watch them both play, and leave an impression on us that makes us want to help them head into this next year of high school. And I think that both of these guys can be college prospects very, very easily. That's why I'm so tough on them today, is so that they really push themselves for that next level of competition, that varsity level, whenever that comes by, and, push their limits and continue to get better, faster, stronger, smarter. So that's where that's at. And, thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and follow Rowan at RowanQB. That's really easy to remember. On Twitter. And while you're on Twitter, in case you don't already, go ahead and follow us at Playmaker Corner on Twitter, where we post announcements for all of our streams, episodes, as well as promote, athletes and stuff, and, help them get the opportunities that they want. When you're on our Twitter, there's a link tree that leads to some other places that you might like to follow us, like Instagram, where we also post when we're going to post new episodes, as well as, some TikToks and stuff like that. But if you want to go straight to the source, you can always go to our TikTok at Playmakers Corner, or Playmakers Corner, however you want to say it out, and watch some of our TikToks there. I just finished editing quite a few, so I just got to get them on there, of the Best of the Rest 22 receiver episode. That's not the only place that we are. I guess we don't have this on our link tree, but we are on Facebook. For anybody that wants to follow us there, please find us. We post all the same things that are on our Instagram straight to our Facebook, right? Ooh, why does that look so rough? But anyways, go ahead and check all those out. Obviously, thank you for anyone who came through the Twitch stream, anyone who gives subs or gifts bits. We appreciate every single one of those. And, go ahead and subscribe to us on Twitch so you get notifications whenever we post new episodes or post new content. All of our Twitch episodes do end up on YouTube, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. We end up posting these just unedited, very raw. And, if you are listening to us on one of those podcast platforms, thank you so much for listening to us. Make sure to like or follow or whatever you need to do to get notifications of all of our newest episodes in that regard. Because, not all of our episodes are Twitch episodes. So that is something to keep in mind. And, if you want your film broken down, go ahead and hop on over to the Film Breakdown Request Google form and fill that out for us. It helps us keep everything in order, especially as we try and get these class of 2026 Colorado kiddos in the spotlight. And then while you're there, if you are a part of a varsity football program and you want to have an easier time fundraising or just help, potentially get new gloves for your program or new equipment, what have you, talk to your coach, get signed up for the Under Armour / Evolution Player Optimization EPO tournament, 7v7, where, they have games on the 25th and the 26th, and then a championship on the 29th, where you can win a prize for your varsity program and help your program out. So please make sure to check that out. Push yourself, test yourself, continue to get better. That's what we're all about here on Playmakers Corner, trying to help the athletes. And thank you all so much for listening. And I'm Cody Stauffer, signing off. As soon as I find the button.